Welcome back, people. It is episode 24 of season 4 of the Taxi Squad podcast. It is this year's, I guess, first golden or second golden episode. So, with all that being said, if you haven't followed it, liked it, and shared it to a friend, you should probably do that. And you should also go follow us on all platforms: Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Really, we got a fair amount to get into today. We do have a road game on our hands, so please be patient with us. We do have some strange and unusual topics, some football topics, hockey, boys try and talk hockey, greatest segment on earth, and some baseball hot stove rumors. And then, of course, the NBA Finals. It's the Taxi Squad podcast.
Come on, everybody, celebrate. The Taxi Squad is here today. So lose the blues, kick back and relax for now. They talk about sports and stupid stuff. They're probably wrong and it might get rough. So welcome back. It's the Taxi Squad. Yeah.
Vince, how the hell are you?
Good, dude. I'm good. Had quite a bash of a weekend. Saw musical theater. Went to a wedding. Saw a Jacob Collier concert. Woke up yesterday. Tired, but good.
Needless.
Woke up today and I'm like, wait a second. It's Taxi Squad podcast day. So it couldn't be any better. Recording on a Tuesday. As a disclaimer for the people that are listening, there's an NBA Finals game that was on last night when you're listening that we don't know what happened yet. So whatever we talk about today, we're just going to act like we know what happened, and we're just going to move from there, I feel like. That's probably
We
it.
just, listen, sometimes you got road games. Sometimes they're in the middle of the finals. Uncle Mike is on the road this week, okay? Out on the town, working.
Can you call yourself
in
uncle to
Bradenton.
people that are maybe older than you?
Yeah, something like that. It's okay.
Okay. I like it.
Some of the people know me as that. Some people know me as Chicago Mike. Wearing this hat right now, you can call me Mountain Mike. For those of you not seeing my head, I'm wearing a Diamondbacks hat because I have no idea who the fuck to pledge my allegiance to anymore.
Yeah,
But hat's pretty clean though.
it is. It's cool.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
So, yeah, on the road this week in lovely Florida. It's just been pouring rain since I've gotten here. And
What's the temp looking like over there? Is it cold for you?
No, God. I mean, Vince, I've lived in Arizona for 8 months. I'm not a fucking Eskimo.
I know your blood's already way thinner. Come on.
No, it's not that bad here. I don't mind it. It's just very damp.
Yeah, it's wet.
And it's wet, and it's been pouring fucking rain. And I've been stuck inside, for the past 24 hours, but I'm cool with it.
A little Stockholm Syndrome goes a long way as long as you're following sports, baby. That's all that matters.
Absolutely. No, got a chance to watch some of our White Sox last night. Didn't watch any of the hockey game. I probably should have since I'm here, but whatever.
Oh, yeah, you're in the place. You're in the hockey place right now.
No, truly I am. I'm like an hour away, but no. What you going to do, right? What you going to do is, in the words of lovely DMX, act a fool. R.I.P. to that guy. So, Vince, as far as acting a fool goes, let's get into our strange and unusual topics. So, former Miami Dolphin quarterback Xavien Howard, who, by the way, was a Pro Bowl cornerback, all-pro, absolute dog, is being sued currently for sexual misconduct.
Alleged sexual misconduct.
Allegedly.
Yes.
Alleged sexual misconduct after one ex-girlfriend and the son of a second ex-girlfriend claimed that the NFL player publicly shared sexually explicit material of the two women and others without their consent. Vince, your thoughts?
First thought when you sent this to me was, it was like a weird page, and I'm like, there's no way this is real. Because essentially what it says is, and this is what the report was. This is not what ESPN said. This is what the report was. Oh, this is alleged. Essentially what it said is, hey, this lady won't get an abortion, so I'm going to send her son a picture of his mom having sex so she gets an abortion. That's how I took this. And that's insane and obscene. Like, you can't do that. Amongst so many things, just like the code of being a human, don't send your grown parent like a video of their grown parent having sexual intercourse. That's a big no-no. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's how I feel.
If you're watching this on YouTube, my face right now, I'm stunned.
It's gross, man. It's obscene.
I mean, ESPN reported it.
Uh-huh.
You had to do a little digging as to what the reports were.
Yeah.
But you got to have a couple screws loose to send this to the kid of whoever mother you're getting after it with, you know?
Yeah. And one ex-girlfriend and the son of a second. So that means he's done this multiple times, allegedly. My man, I mean, listen, this is a thing that we've seen a lot. A lot of NFL players
Could be fake. Could be fake.
I don't think
right?
so. I mean, it could be. It could be. Usually when there's more than one person, you're like, oh, it's getting closer to might be real. Could be a money grab. Who really knows? But all I'm saying is that most of the times this kind of stuff happens with NFL players, which brings us back to the CTE thing and makes me feel bad. It's just like all around nasty. What he did here is exceptionally nasty, and I hope that it's not true. And if it is true, I hope that he gets what's coming to him.
Yeah. Well, then again, I mean, she probably allowed him to videotape it, right? You know, it's not like you just do that.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, there
for
has to be
different uses, you know.
I mean, hey, between Xavien
revenge
Howard
porn.
sending this to the kid, yeah, it is revenge porn.
You can't.
in
That's
theory.
illegal.
It's a whole subgenre. Hey, if that's your
illegal.
thing,
Yeah.
not judging you.
Even
I'm
if
just
you
saying-
record it, like it's still illegal to send it to people that it wasn't like intended for. You know.
Well, I mean, what's going to happen with the guy who leaked the video of Gia Duddy and Hammer, whatever the hell his
Will
name is?
Levis? I don't know, man.
Hammer Levis.
Probably nothing good because that was a leak, I think, too. Yeah, dude. Whenever things like this happen, I'm like, definitely wasn't on purpose. This was obviously like on purpose, sent it to the kid. It's so gross. It's making my stomach hurt, dude. Like, I don't want to put myself in that guy's shoes. That's brutal. And this guy deserves to get sued for millions of dollars if that was the case. So no one ever deserves to see that, regardless of who you are.
Yeah, I wonder how old the kid is. How old is the kid?
It said teenage. It says right now he's 18, but supposedly he did it 2 years ago, so he was 16 at the time.
So, like, how old was Xavien Howard's got to be in his 20s, so is he into older women?
Is he in his 20s or is he older?
No shot. He's got to be in his 20s.
Well, isn't he retired?
I
Or is he
don't know.
just former? 30 on the dot.
So he's getting with some women, unless they were pregnant at,
It could
young
be.
ages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about this last week. Like, there's nothing wrong with getting with an older woman. Older women need
No.
love too. But
No.
there is a lot wrong doing what he did, and just seeing his face now, I'm like, hey man, this is rough. This is a rough one.
I mean, the
honestly.
CTE could be kicking in, Vince. Maybe he has a lawsuit on his hands. It's the CTE that made me do it.
It applies to everybody, it seems like, and I'm just disgusted by it. This is one of those ones that we get where we're like, and it's strange and it's unusual, and we've never seen something like this before. But I
Whole
really
point of
don't
this
even.
segment.
I don't even know what to say. I'm like, ew, dude. Like, why'd you do that? That's so gross. That's like, it's not even like bro code. That's like a stupid saying, but like, it's human code. Like, you don't do that to anybody. That's like literal torture. It's torture.
There's bro code, there's girl code, and then there's human code.
Yes.
He broke human code.
Yeah, literally. It's understood at your birth that you're never supposed to see that situation play out.
Just sending pics to.
Ugh. And I don't
All
even know
right.
if it was I don't know if it was a pic, if it was a video. Dude, crazy. Ew.
Man,
Also, brute. What did you think he was going to get from that?
just
All right,
that
sent him
poor
the
kid's
video. Now
that
now
poor
she's
kid's
definitely gonna do it
traumatized forever
for the
like,
rest
he
of his
sent it
life. Yeah,
Forever.
it's brutal.
It's
Yeah.
horrible.
Oh, Xavien Howard, if you did it, I hope you go to jail. And I hope you have to pay.
I don't know if he'll
millions
go
of dollars.
to jail. He just may get like a hefty lawsuit and a fine.
Yeah. Well, isn't that what would the terminology be?
Defamation?
Because- well, no, he sent lewd photographs to a minor.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
If the kid's a minor, yeah, that's
He
a
was
whole
at the
other
time,
bag.
so that could be like a sexual misconduct with a minor or pedophilia thing. Get him on a list. Not good, man. Not good. Not good.
Well, in other strange and unusual news as it comes to relations between a man and a woman, Rory McIlroy and his wife
Yes.
are no longer getting separated.
Love
Allegedly.
wins, baby. Love wins.
Love wins. See? We tie it all together full circle
Yeah.
with people not
With
getting
love. Yeah.
with love.
I don't think Rory McIlroy's sending
See?
any videos to anybody.
How do you know? He could be an absolute dog.
Yeah, there's not to kids, hopefully.
No.
I hope the quote was weird. It was like, we had some issues and we worked through it and now we're starting a new beginning. And I'm like, I need to know what that means, because that means there's a lot behind it that we don't know. And I'm like, how do you get to the point where you're like definitely going to get divorced for sure? And then they switch it around. They're like, yeah, we're not going to do that at all. It's weird.
You
To go
want
public
my
with
humble
it.
opinion?
To get
You
public
want my
with
humble opinion? You want my humble opinion?
it. Yeah.
There it is.
Money.
Then he's making the cash symbol
Yeah.
right to the bank with it.
I feel like, yeah, there was, because they had like lawyers and stuff going at it. I feel like there was a settlement amount where it was like, hey, actually, maybe we shouldn't do this because this is a lot of money. And I don't know how we're going to be able to do this. I mean, it's got to, like, imagine having that money and have that many like resources and assets on hand and to split it in half. Like, maybe they're both were like, this ain't even worth it. Like, let's just wait till the kids are done in college or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or they're in love still.
Right. I'm leaning more so that they looked at the dollars. He's like, listen, you can live in my house. I'll buy another house. You know, we'll stay together for public image purposes, and you can do what you want to do, and I'll do what I want to do, and life is easy.
That very well could be true, and I would not be surprised. But at the end of the day, Mike, love wins. And that's all that matters.
Love wins,
baby.
Vince. We're going to go with the latter, the fact that
Love
they
is
figured
love.
it out, and
Yeah.
love is love, and they adore each other,
Well,
and that she got over the fact that he golfs too much because that came out in the world.
because that's his job.
His fucking job is to golf.
I personally and selfishly, I was hoping that this would happen because I did see them last year at the Masters on the par 3 course, and they were all together, and it was just a happy little family. And I'm like, this
Were they
is cute.
smooching? Did he give
Look
her
at
a
this.
smooch?
Oh, they were both carrying a kid, and they were walking down, and it was like, oh, this is so cute, because they do like the kids par 3 with the PGA guys. I was like, this is
okay.
adorable, this is great. And then I hear that, I'm like, my heart is broken. You know, like, I'm not married myself, but I felt like I was an extension because I was like 15 feet away from them.
Yeah, either that or you heard, God, you golf too fucking much, Rory.
Honestly, maybe she was whispering that. He
Maybe.
did go in as the favorite for that Masters and came in like 15th. So
That always kind of happens, huh, doesn't it? There's always
except
like
for
a guy.
Scott, except for Scotty, who, by the way, won another tournament last weekend.
Did he?
Yeah, the only tournaments that he hasn't won were baby tournament and arrest tournament. And also, here's another strange and unusual. You see the picture of the cop's pants that were irreparable?
What?
You know how they said the cop's pants was damaged without repair or unable to repair? The police officer that pulled over Scotty?
No, I didn't read that far.
Yeah, supposedly they were like, yeah, he dragged me and my pants ripped and they can't be repaired. It's like they're so destroyed. And all this stuff's coming out now where it's like, obviously that was a lie. The rest of the police report was a lie. It all got dropped. And then a picture, like all this evidence just keeps coming out. And a picture of the pants came out and there was like a little hole. I heard it getting assimilated to a boo-boo today, which I would agree. It looks like a boo-boo. It looks like the cop got a little boo-boo.
Oh, he
and
got
he
a
was
little
mad.
boo-boo.
Yeah, he got a little boo-boo. And he's like, ouchie, you hurt me. Let's bring him to jail for 3 felonies. Oh, God. It's
Total Barney Fife move.
Well, it just gets richer and richer because it's like immediately we're like, they're going to drop for sure. They're going to drop the charges. And then they didn't. And then I'm like, why haven't they done that? And then as more stuff's coming out, you're like, thank God they dropped the charges. Because like the cop got a boo-boo and he wanted to send him to jail for 25 years. It's so stupid.
Well, that's just, once again, just a cop feeling the need to just flex his proverbial muscle.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, you got to remember, if anybody asks you to stop your car, you have to stop it, regardless of who it is. That's what he told us last time.
Yeah, no, that's not
Don't
true
do
at
that.
all.
Don't do
No.
that. Taxi
No.
Squad PSA, don't do that. Also added a little light right here if you're watching on YouTube. You like that?
Oh.
You like
So
that?
now
dude?
when you have a new thought, you could just go,
Ding! Yeah, just get down. I can't.
you just go, oh, there. Oh, Vince, you got a new thought? You got a new thought? Oh, there it is.
Ding! I got
If
it.
anybody's watching, if anybody's watching this right now, Vince is hunkered down with a light bulb above his forehead. So
It
there you
looks
go.
good. I swear.
You look great. You look great, cuz. All right, let's talk
check
about
us
some
out on
football.
YouTube. Check us out on YouTube.
Check us out on YouTube.
Football time, baby.
So let's talk about some football talk. All right. So we're gonna talk about the Bears.
Yeah.
Small Bears corner. All right. So recently in the news, new signing for the Chicago Bears. Incredibly excited for this one. More of a vibe guy. He's like the vibe guy you bring on a golf trip. Not the greatest golfer, but he brings the vibes. Good on the Bluetooth speaker.
Yep.
Good conversation. There to have a good time.
Classics
Not there to play a lot
playlist
of
always
golf.
has a couple extra sticks if somebody
Right.
needs them. Like, good guy.
Right. He's just the guy, who's playing yacht rock and having a good time.
Oh, yeah.
So the Bears signed Marcedes Lewis,
Thank God,
former
dude.
Jaguar great,
Thank
to his
God.
19th season in the NFL.
I was going to say, we didn't talk about it last week.
That's
We need another tight end. We needed one.
Yeah, no,
We only have Cole Kmet and Gerald Everett and Robert Tunyon. So why not throw a little Marcedes Lewis in there? Like you said, I think I agree with you too, because the initial thought of that was like, this is so stupid. What a waste of a roster spot. He's a vibes guy. He is as an offensive side, like a veteran, because the rest of the offense, if you look at it, are really young. Like even DJ Moore's like, what, 29? Like he's not like he's an older guy.
No,
the
him and
defense has a
Keenan
couple.
Allen are both like the same age. So
Yeah. And the defense has a couple of guys that are like legitimate veterans, but like maybe Marcedes Lewis on that side is going to be able to bring it all together. I think I like it, but he's not going to see the field, right?
maybe in some goal line packages.
Just
maybe.
a block. That's it. That's all I can see it happening.
He might catch like a touchdown on the season.
That's kind of like Gerald Everett's role, regardless. So you're taking that away from him to give it to Marcedes. Kind of feels like the same thing.
No, Gerald Everett. I mean, he's a burner. I mean,
Well, yeah,
for a
but
tight end, he can stretch the field vertically.
He was goal line guy for Herbert last year. Him and that other, who's that tall dude? What's his name?
Mike Williams.
On the Chargers? No. The tight end for the Chargers. Parnham. Monster.
Oh yeah,
Big boy.
Yeah.
Big boy. Go up and get it kind of guy.
At one point in fantasy last year, I think I was so desperate that I think I picked him up at one point.
Yeah,
I mean,
I did
that's how
too.
you know you're desperate.
Yeah, he was a flex tight end guy for sure. I think everybody kind of ran into that issue.
You know, is it wrong that a part of me is so happy that I'm not playing fantasy football this year? And I
No,
just
it's
don't care
good.
anymore?
It's relieving. I'm going to be playing
And
in
I'm just
2
gonna
leagues.
watch the game. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
watch. Oh, you're playing too.
Yeah, so I have my Dynasty League that I've been in for a couple of years that I still have my team, so I kind of just leave it be. And then I
Do you
play
even want it anymore? Do you even want it?
It's okay, so here's the scenario. So I know everybody here wants to listen to my fantasy scenario, but here we go. My team,
Here we go, yo.
I came in late into the league, so we did a draft. We did all the extra players that people didn't drop, so garbage. I got Nick Chubb, which was great. And then we went to the rookie draft, where we got the last 3 picks. So we didn't get shit for rookies the first year. Last year, I think I came in last that year. Last year, I got the second pick. I picked up Anthony Richardson. That wasn't too great. And then this year, I am pretty high in the draft, and I feel like I'm finally bringing my team together. Do I care about it? No, not at all. I think I just put the money in already, so I think I just got to keep doing it.
So anticlimactic. I have no idea what else to say other than so you don't care.
No, not at all.
You might as well sell your team at this point.
No, it's all right. I like the guys. But the other one, like the OG one, I do care about it. And it's, I've won a couple times trying to get back up on the mountaintop.
When's the last time you won a fantasy season?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was a commissioner.
The worst job ever. Trying to get a bunch of grown
don't-
men together to do something is impossible.
It's like herding fucking cats.
Mhm.
Everybody has a damn opinion on some shit.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. Like, I have no other words other than if you really want to infuriate yourself, decide to become the commissioner of a fantasy football league with 14 grown adults.
Well, at the end of the day, it's a fake football squad that you're making, and then everybody's like,
When
"Oh
I
my
told
God,"
everybody,
and you're
I was
"You
like,
just had a fantasy."
done.
Like,
At the end of the season, I paid everybody out. I said, I'm done. They're
Yeah,
like, what are
no.
you talking about? You're done. I'm like, I'm done.
we're both leaving
it.
we're leaving two voids in that fantasy league this year.
If they continue it, because there's always like one guy,
Yeah,
right? There's always like one guy who's like, well, then I'll take it over and be like, motherfucker, have a party.
right.
I could care less. There were some things I didn't necessarily agree with you.
Okay,
Great.
change it.
I don't give a shit. Go ahead, change it. I'm out. I'm out, dog.
Because again, of fantasy, we are all within the realm of fantasy when we're playing this. None of it's real. It's all
Right.
over at the end of the year, and then you do it again next year, and it's supposed to be fun and giggly, but then people take it too seriously, and then it's not
Yeah.
fun and giggly. It's
No.
stupid and arguments all the time, and I'm just picking up Tim Tebow to go on my bench for vibes. Like, that's my kind of thing.
It's like a similar vibe of like joining a rec league softball team with a group of
Yeah.
guys. And in the beginning, it's fun and
And
exciting.
getting jerseys, and then everybody's got
you get
gloves
jerseys,
and
you have a couple beers, you're playing a game here or there once a week. It's light, it's fun. You win a couple games, you don't really care.
Yeah.
Year 2 comes around, and now everybody thinks they're trying to win a fucking World Series.
Yeah.
And there's another reason I don't play grown men organized sports anymore. because there's always like 3 or 4 guys who never played sports as kids.
Yeah.
And they now feel like this is their time to shine.
Blind confidence.
It's like, listen, Eric, you never played a sport in your life, but now you're going to argue with me as to why you should play second base, even though you can barely run 60 meters without being out of breath. So
Yeah.
I'm good.
You got Tanner from accounting that gets mad at you for not going to the batting cages during the week, so you were ready to go on Thursday. It's like, dude,
why aren't you taking ground balls, dude? It's like, dude, this is D-League softball in
Yeah,
Schaumburg. I'm
right.
okay.
put me at third.
Um,
I'll react as fast as I can, and other than that, I'll duck out of the way. Like, I have to
Could
go to
you
work the next day.
imagine like how embarrassed you would be? Like, seriously, if you tore something playing rec league
Oh.
softball
Brother, I
and
got
you're
a
like
story for you.
and you're coming
Um,
into work on that next Thursday or Friday, like, oh,
Yeah.
what happened? And you're like, oh, I tore my meniscus. It's like, how? Rec league softball.
Yeah, I was in a rec league softball team with our buddy Richard that we've talked about a lot. Welcome back, another call out for buddy Richard.
Shout out to
Um,
Dick.
Yeah, friend Rob, and then my friend Joe, and a couple other guys. And we're playing, and Joe's pitching. And Joe runs off the mound to go get the ball, and he's cooking it, and he you can see it in his leg just go like a little pop, and you're like, oh no, oh fuck, and then he went down, and we were like, oh no, like.
Did he tear his Achilles?
I don't think it was a full tear. It might have been a partial or something in that area. I did see it happen, and I was like, oh Jesus.
Did he
And
have to
then-
get cut open?
We were like, we have to go to the hospital, and he's like, no. And then he just went to the bar with us, and then he went to the hospital the next day. So it was pretty wild. And then the umpire comes up. He's like, well, you don't have anybody else, so we're going to have to forfeit it. And I'm like, oh, nice compassion, asshole. The guy's just like, I get to go home.
Yeah, no, it was always fun times. I don't miss it. I can't say that I miss it.
It's fun from time to time, but we had our team was a co-ed thing or whatever you want to call
The
it.
co-ed is fun. The
Yeah.
co-ed's far more fun.
But
'Cause
ours
you can play with the ladies. And
Ours unfortunately had a lot of nurses on there that didn't know how to play softball, so we lost by like 25 every game. So
now, if you get some former softball players in that one,
yeah, dude, bring my sister in on that, then we're making bacon, dude. that we're making.
There's a real shout out. Shout out, Kate. All right. Total squirrel moment. We come back to it. Bears still haven't signed Caleb Williams, Vince. Are you afraid?
I am ready for the season to start, I think, because I hate all of this shit. He's doing a lot of appearances. He's very confident. He's always been that way. Fans are already starting to turn on him a little bit. I don't know if you've seen this trend where it's like he's doing too much. He's doing too much. And while I agree, if he plays well in the field, all is cured. Caleb's not concerned. Caleb, and I quote, I've been focused on these past 3 days of minicamp, the OTAs before that, and rookie camp before that. I haven't focused on that. Polls in my team have been focused on that. I have lawyers and attorneys that handle things like that, so I can be free-minded on the field, coming into work every day and working my tail off. I think he is doing that. I saw a pretty brutal throw from the man today to Keenan Allen, where Keenan Allen's just like, nope, like, can't do that. Real underthrown, excuse me. Everybody retweeted it. Oh my God, he's not it. The Bears are going to suck. Shut up, dude. Stop taking videos of this stuff. Sign the contract. Do OTAs, get to the season. We'll see if it's good then. Is that how you feel kind of, or am I on my own boat here?
No, I'm with you 100%. Like, I'm not overreacting. Let the guy play a snap.
Right.
Let's see him in preseason, because he'll probably play in preseason. And Tyson Bagent will have some starts, and he'll have some starts, and chances are we'll see what he's about.
3 this year?
What's that?
3 preseason games this year? 3 of them?
Yeah, that's the new thing.
Yeah.
Who I'm really interested to see what's going to happen with is Nate Davis, interior lineman for the Bears.
Is he with the team right now?
Yeah, he's with the team, but a lot of people are claiming that he wants to retire and he's just showing up for just appearance purposes.
Yeah,
for his
I saw
contract, because you have to show up to, minicamp.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter. I think he's like, I don't know. There's been some disagreements with him in the front office a couple times in the past. I hope he's here.
He got paid like $30 million.
I hope he's here, because offensive line has been a struggle for us since 1990, or probably 1986. So I hope he's here. He's here so we can have some depth. But I don't know, man. Again, I just want to see what the roster's gonna look like before preseason starts, and then not have to deal with any of this shit, because this is all it's gonna be. And then Hard Knocks is gonna start, and then people are gonna microanalyze that. Like, I just, I don't know.
August 6th, babe.
I'm starting to get a bad feeling, and I don't like that at all. So
I'm jacked for it. August 6th is going to be a good old time.
I mean, I am too. I don't like all of this discourse, because it's starting to feel very familiar to me. And I think it's going to happen regardless. But, every time this has happened in the past, it didn't work out too well. So, Caleb, please work out well. Please, for the love of Christ, please work out well.
I'm with you there. I'm 100% with you there. Yeah, well, it's just going to be one of these things. I believe he's the guy. Everybody in that building, from what I've read, and everybody you listen to on Chicago Sports Rags simply say the same thing, that the feeling in the building is different, and they like him a whole lot more than they like Justin Fields. They say Justin Fields is either hot or cold, and kind of a just wild card. So,
don't forget,
Bears are going to Bears, though.
Eberflus is hot now. Don't forget that. We have a hot coach. Hot coach means winning.
We got Keenan Allen coming out in most major news articles saying, like, oh, Bears, that defense is a top 5 defense. It's like, don't say that. I don't want to hear that.
Well, usually when they say that, they're right about the Bears for defense. Whenever they say that shit,
because we haven't had a good defense in a minute. We haven't had a good defense in a minute.
I mean, they played really well at the end of the year. We picked up a couple guys this year already. Like, I think there's an opportunity for them to be very good. Plus, they're playing against a better offense in training camp and all their practices. So, I think it could be good. And also, Eberflus is a hot guy now. And I like hot guy coaches. Hot guy coaches win. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
Andy Reid's hot.
I was about to say.
Hot guy.
I mean, what's Andy Reid saying? He's a cheeseburger guy.
Yeah, he's a hot guy. You ever see him in those, like, beach shirts with the floral prints on them?
Oh, yeah.
Pure hot guy material, dude. That's pure hot guy.
taking mustache rides.
If you
offering
guys
mustache-
disagree that Andy Reid's a hot guy, then you're wrong, dude. That guy walking around
wrong.
like he wears whatever he wants. The confidence is beyond me. Like last year, Eberflus was tuck my tail, I'm scared. Same thing that, what's his name? Staley, that was with the Chargers. Same thing that he had.
Yeah.
Fucking Andy Reid comes in, cargo shorts and beach shirt and like a visor, and he's just like, what the fuck is up? Like, I'm ready to win another Super Bowl. And that's the shit we need. Hot guy syndrome.
I agree. Speaking of hot guy syndrome, did you see Mike Tomlin got a 3-year extension?
Yeah, I saw they posted the original signature that he had from the first time.
Same spot.
Same
spot,
guys, same spot. My biggest takeaway is you should get some new chairs because they're the same chairs. And I'm
Gotta
like,
get
they've had the same chairs for 18 years.
Motherfucker, go to the CB2 outlet and get some new damn chairs.
You're the Pittsburgh Steelers. Go just get chairs. You don't even have to go to CB2 outlet. Go anywhere. You're the Steelers.
Have you been to the CB2 outlet, Vince? I'm plugging the CB2 outlet for free.
Which we shouldn't do. No free ads. But if you guys want to advertise with us, please do. I haven't been there. But what I will say is I think they can afford full price furniture, if I'm not mistaken.
No, they're an NFL organization. I'm not saying they couldn't, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying also you should just
Oh,
say you should
maybe-
update.
I bet on that website. That's Crate and Barrel, right? CB2?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that banks. I like Crate and Barrel,
Okay.
dude. Yeah.
Talk about Hawkeye vibes. Come on, man.
Yeah, dude. Hey, babe, what's up? Nothing. Just went to Crate and Barrel. Yes. Fuck me. Like, that's literally my conversations. All my conversations, dude. Yeah. Check
Yeah,
it out. I
so-
just spent $400 at the CB2 outlet. It's just like, oh, my God.
Oh my God. Can I come
I love-
over and see your puffy couch?
Yes.
Um,
Please. Let's watch Harry
come
Potter,
on
sweetheart.
Come on over, baby. All right. Vince, should we try and talk some hockey?
Yeah, dude, this is chaos episode. Let's hop into the boys try to talk hockey.
The boys talk about hockey.
So I'm in the land of the Panther.
Mm-hmm. La Pantera, if you will.
Not the Carolina, because in
Mhm.
my mind I've gone there. But the Florida Panthers,
Yeah.
they're rocking and rolling, and it looks like they're going to win this series. This is very much so one of these series. You just kind of look at it and go, "Is it already over? Is Connor
They-
McDavid already a dead duck?"
So what I've learned about these teams, and I didn't know a lot about Florida before, and Florida's big thing is like not having one like amazing guy, but having a full team. That's what I've taken away from this. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Lots of Russians, lots of hardcore Russians that go in and hit dudes, and it's been a treat to watch. Also, if you're the Oilers, if you can't score, you can't win. If you can't score, you can't win. And they've scored 1 goal in 2 games. All of that to be said, they're playing in Florida the last 2 games, and they get to go across an entire country, and then about half of one to get up to Edmonton for the next game. That's home ice advantage, and I feel like and I'm gonna say the same thing about the Mavericks. They need to win too at home. Like that's just the way that this is gonna work because
Don't
They
bury
have
the
no
lead quite
help.
yet, Vince. Come on.
they have no help in Florida, dude. No help in Florida.
Yeah, so the first 2 games of the series, series started on Sunday?
Yes. Second game is
Yeah?
Monday. No,
Boys talk hockey.
we're looking at Saturday yesterday, which was Monday, and then Thursday. You get 2 days
Okay.
and then 3 days on travel.
Okay. So the Panthers take the first 2 games of the series.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty decided, right?
Easily,
I mean, so
yes.
that first game of the series, they what? They won 4-0?
3-0 game 1, 4-1 game 2.
Wow.
It was like 2-1, like going into the third, I want to say last night, and then I checked the score and it was 4-1, and I was like, Jesus Christ, like they can't defend for the life of them, and they can't score, and that's just not gonna do it. One team's been here before, one team hasn't.
This is the decade.
Ask the
I
Buffalo
feel like,
Bills.
from 2014 to now, this is like the decade of Florida hockey teams just owning. Between the Lightning
Yeah.
and now them.
Well, how many did they end up winning though? The Lightning.
The Lightning, 2.
They won 2. Oh, I thought they won
Yeah.
1. Yeah, the Panthers are going to have to win. They're going to have to win this one. If they go 2 in a row and then they don't win, that's a real shame. I want Canada to win, dude. I think Edmonton is cool. I support Edmonton. And I want to see Connor McDavid win one because, like, if he doesn't, it's going to be a stain. And he's been in the league for, 8 years now? Like, he's not exactly, like, a new player. He's kind of where Tatum is, honestly. And, yeah, he's something around 28, 29, but, those opportunities go away. Alex Ovechkin went, I don't know how long before he ended up winning a cup. Like, when you get to these opportunities, you have to win them if you're a premier player.
Well, the series isn't over, and they're going back to Canada, so it's not over until the it's not over until the Canadian lady sings or shows her giant boobs.
Yeah,
and
which did happen. And sorry, we didn't talk about that last week. Oilers girl
we didn't
showing her
talk
boobs.
about
Cool.
the lady showing her giant fake cans.
Seems like a cool time. Seems like a fun person. I feel like that was just for the love of the game, to be honest. Because I don't know if you remember this happened. This happened at the World Series with that one girl during the Astros World Series, and she was like promoting her OnlyFans or whatever. This girl was
relatable.
Right.
She just did it for the love of the game.
This girl was just like, I love hockey. Look at my boobs. Let's win some shit. And then they have. So maybe she's got to come back, run it back, Turbo. I don't know about the rules in Canada about flashing full places, but put that shit on the Jumbotron, dude. Like, these days, hey, listen to this. These days, we're either on this side, the right, or this side, the left. What brings us all together, regardless of your race, religion, or creed?
1, 2, 3, ready?
Yes.
Boobs.
Yes, dude, that's what I'm saying. Regardless, everybody's like cool. Like, I don't even care. Like, even if you're like into guys or whatever, like everybody's like cool boobs. Like everybody.
They're like the one thing in life that everybody can just go, nice.
Right. I agree.
Right.
I feel like, this is why you listen to this show, guys. This is why you hear the boys talk, because we bring real thought leader shit in here, like boob talk. So
this is what we
bring
do.
Oilers girl back, win 2 in Edmonton, go back to Florida, and give yourself a chance. It's a new series if it's 2-2.
Oh, it's a totally new series if it's 2-2. Get the girl out, bring her. Here, let's do a corporate talk. Ready?
Yep.
All right. So what I really believe we need to do and where we need to transition is get that lady out here with her giant hangers, put them on the Jumbotron. Yeah. I really think it's going to boost morale for us, right? 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 It's going to boost morale, guys, right? So with that, all right, we do that. Now maybe we go 2-1 in this series, right? Right? And now we have a real chance. Now we have a real chance to really move that needle and really see where we go from here.
We'll see how far Canada would go for a major champion. And part of me feels like they wouldn't let her in because they have her face scanned. But part of me feels like she's the only thing.
Why wouldn't they let
left.
her in? Why wouldn't they let her in?
Because that is illegal. That's lewd exposure in a public space.
Is it lewd if people like it?
Yes. Because not everybody does. It's like peeing in an alley. Like you can get put on a list if you pee in an alley.
Vince, nobody wants to see the pushad, but they could very much don't want to see the lovely hangers.
I agree wholeheartedly, but I don't know if the rules are the same that way. You know what I say? They should support it. I think we should call Trudeau and say, hey, man, you can't let Florida win a hockey tournament. That's obscene. That's an insane situation. Edmonton is like the coldest, most blue-collar Canada city ever. Give it to them. Florida doesn't need it. Like, we'll just move on from that. Bring the boobs. Bring the boobs, man.
Bring the boobs. Regardless who wins or loses, bring the tits.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk some baseball, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it, Mike.
Let's talk some ball.
Dude, I love this sport, but I hate it right now. I hate it. I hate it a lot.
Why?
Because it's like every new day is another White Sox headline. And every new week, we're like, all right, let's talk about baseball. It's like, what's in the news? How bad the White Sox are. And now we move on to this new category of who are the White Sox trading? That's literally what we're on now.
We're going. Like, we got 48 days, babe.
Bad. And not only them, you have like the Blue Jays that are underperforming, and maybe they trade their guys. And I brought this concept up to you, but like young cores, like the Orioles, what they have now with their young core, building their young core, that was the White Sox 3 years ago.
No, it wasn't.
It was, because the White Sox were like new young core. That's what people were saying. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Wrong. You're wrong.
Why?
Why? Because we had a team full of first basemen, and the Orioles are stacked.
No. This was before.
Scooter Gennett, Adley Rushman, Jackson Holiday.
I understand, but we had what we thought Eloy was going to be, what we thought and what Robert has become, what we thought Moncada was going to be at 2, Tim Anderson coming up and sprouting up, like Andrew Vaughn on the team. Like we had guys. Fuck it, like Zach Collins was a first round pick. We were like, oh, he could be good.
Gone on to actually have a decent career.
Zach Collins is not in the MLB anymore.
No, well, he had a good couple years after.
Yeah, he did. I think he went to the Bravos or something. The White Sox were expected to be good. We had a pitching staff. Giolito's coming up. We traded for Cease. We're like, oh, cool. We're going to fill in all these spots. Lance Lynn comes in. Dallas Keuchel almost wins a Cy Young. Like, we had a situation where we're like, oh, maybe this is going to work out. The Blue Jays have done the same thing. The Blue Jays have done the same thing.
Dallas Keuchel.
Yeah, that was not a beautiful lead for him. But remember when he was an all-star? Like, we had hope.
Yeah, he was great. No, we did have hope. We had all these things. We had all these amazing things.
I was talking to my brother the other day, and it was the Nick Madrigal trade was the beginning of the end. I was like, oh.
We were so upset about that trade. Looking back, we probably shouldn't have been. Even though Nick Madrigal
What do you
was
mean?
like,
I would still rather have Madrigal than Craig Kimbrell and what he did for us before we got rid of him.
Yeah, but everybody thought that was going to be the trade that really broke the camel's back and got you into the playoffs and got you deep in the postseason. And he did nothing but just get lit up.
Well, all it was Lurie Garcia. That's all we had to root for. Maybe we're so bad because we don't have Lurie. Maybe we've been arguing and
that's why. That's why, Vince, because we don't have Lurie Garcia.
What a shame.
Either way,
take it.
Trade deadline's 48 days away.
Yeah.
Now, a guy we thought that was off limits, Luis Robert, back on the dock.
Should be off limits.
Should he, though?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Vince, do you realize they've played like 4 seasons together? Moncada, Eloy, and Luis Robert. I think they played a total of maybe 63 games together.
Yeah. Oh, dude. I am operating under the get rid of everybody except for one guy mantra. I think he's
what
a
is that
generational
gonna accomplish?
He's
You
a
might as well get rid of
generational
him now.
talent. He's a generational talent. I think he's going to be good for like 15 years. And every team that we've had has always had a guy that proves to last the time he's there. Like we had
in
a Frank
a different
Thomas
uniform.
We had we had Frank Thomas. We had Paul Konerko. We had Abreu. We had like first baseman that'd have been good. We don't have a first baseman that's good. You know, we do have a center fielder that's good. Keep him and get rid of everybody else. That's how I would operate that.
Gavin Sheets has been hitting the fucking cover off.
I know, but
recently.
You know you can't focus on that. You can't trust that for the long run.
He recently he goes on tears and then goes cold.
Yeah.
All right.
And Andrew Vaughn sucks.
Right now, yeah, no, Andrew Vaughn's starting to come around a little bit.
Yeah, but eventually.
He had a good series against Boston.
I know, but he was like coming out of college, like proven hitter, get him in the team early, and he's going to be good. And he's hit like 230 his career.
You see what you see what's happening to Spencer Torkelson? Spencer Torkelson on the
got sent down on the Tigers.
On the Detroit Tigers got sent down. He was supposed to be the next best thing next to sliced bread. So you really
him and
never
Adley
know.
Rushman were 1-2. It was like not in the drafts, but like as far as prospects coming up, it was like Rushman or Torkelson, who's better?
Now, in my eyes, when I look at this, Luis Robert, I think it's kind of a done deal that he'll get moved.
Yeah.
I think that's where we're at as a franchise right now. They're just trying to get as much young talent on the South Side as they possibly can, and regardless if it's right, wrong, or indifferent. I don't think they're moving to Nashville. If they do, hey, this hat's staying on forever.
I don't. I'm just gonna.
This hat on my head. No, I'll just be a D-backs fan now.
You will. I'm just gonna start hating baseball. I don't have any options.
You could just be a D-backs fan with me.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, though. I have no affiliation.
Well,
if anything, I'd be like a Brewers fan, but I don't want to do that either.
No, that'd be horrible.
I know. And I definitely won't be a Cubs fan.
No, God, if you did that, I'll punch you square in the cock.
You start seeing me in that Cubby blue, I would throw up. Just saying Cubby makes my tummy hurt. Makes my cute little tummy hurt.
Vince did, though, get caught on television in the middle of the Wrigley Field bleachers with...
I was on a marquee network commercial for like a year and a half. Yeah. is odd.
They should pay you for that, by the way.
That's
You should go
royalties,
find
baby.
You should go find the footage of that, and we should post it.
See
Go
this
find it.
handsome son of a gun right here? I deserve to get paid for that because that's me, sir.
Right. Chicago as ever. All
Wearing
right.
Brewers colors, nonetheless.
Yeah. He digresses. He has to cover up. So, Luis Robert, trade rumors. Where's he going, Vince?
Philly.
Or does he even get moved? You think
Yeah,
he's going to Philly?
He gets moved. Philadelphia sends us like their 9th and 10th best prospect, and then we send a generational talent that way because that's what's going to happen.
No, I think you'd have to give up like your top prospect for him.
Yeah, until Chris Getz gets his hand on it. It's not.
Hey, man, he's made some good deals so far.
Yeah. I don't know. All I know is that because if you remember at the beginning of this scenario, especially this year, it was like, hey, what are we going to do with this team? It's not a full rebuild. We're not going to break everything down. We're going to make some adjustments, and we're going to go to compete. And now they trade everybody. All he did was bullface lie at the beginning of the season. That's all he did. So,
well, they have to do that. And Tony La Russa said we might surprise some people this year.
yes,
so
surprisingly gets rid of their entire roster.
Surprise, motherfucker. All right. So you think he's going to the Phillies? See, I think he's going to go to a different contender in the AL. I think he stays in the AL. They know he can hit well. I think he finds a way to go to. We have a shot at getting Jackson Holiday. You wouldn't want Jackson Holiday?
I want him. I don't think we do. I don't think.
Dude, that's a fair
Orioles
trade.
need him.
But right now, his value's at the lowest it's ever been.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be cool to reach out for it, but that'd be a 1-for-1, and I don't know because he's basically MLB ready. Like they're
perfect.
I guess
let him
Luis
play at Birmingham
is pretty young.
for a year.
I wouldn't blame the Orioles for doing it, but that buyer's remorse if Jackson Holiday's really good. Actually, send him to the Sox so you know you're not going to regret doing that trade because he's going to come to the Sox and we're going to ruin him, just destroy him as a baseball player. So maybe like the Orioles trade for Luis Robert and then Jackson Holiday doesn't pan out and everybody's gonna be like, the White Sox got fleeced. Like, no, we just ruined
Colson Montgomery.
Yeah,
Colson Montgomery coming up. He could play short or third.
Yep.
And then you put Jackson Holiday at, second or short.
Yeah, have him play. Have Jackson play short and put Colson at third, and then have Noah Schultz pitch, and then Martin Maldonado, who, by the way, is getting a lot of votes for the All-Star game this year.
Which makes no fucking sense.
Yes, it does. Because the Twitterverse, the White Sox Twitterverse that I consider myself a part of, has made a big push to make our .072 average hitter, Martin Maldonado, our one White Sox at the All-Star game. Why, you ask? Because it's an accurate depiction of who they've been this year, and it is perfect. Send a guy who can't hit and also can't throw guys out and also has called some pretty brutal games this year. Send him. Don't give it to somebody that maybe kind of deserves it. Send it to somebody that is the White Sox, all-encompassing.
All right, who's the better White Sox? Carlos Lee or Corey Lee?
I'm going to go Carlos. Final answer, Alex?
El Caballo. Always.
Yeah.
All right, so with other news, so there's our trade rumor talk with Luis Robert. Now, Jr. and Bo Bichette are both on the dock now, which is interesting because they're both on the same team. And Bo Bichette, his dad, what was it, Dante Bichette?
Dante, yeah, Rocky's legend.
Yeah, Rocky's legend, Dante Bichette. Kid's got great hair. And then Vladdy Jr. Wow, the fall from grace has been fast.
Yeah, Vladdy, did he win an MVP or was he second in MVP? I forgot if he won one or not.
Yeah, he was in the voting.
He is still pretty good. I think the Blue Jays experiment with how they've gone together, like Kevin Biggio got sent down. All the sons that they had on the team doesn't seem like it's working. Alek Manoah, good pitcher, turns into a not a good pitcher. I think it's just same thing's happening. There's voodoo in Toronto, just like there's voodoo on the south side of Chicago. For some reason, those rebuilds aren't going to work. And it kind of, I feel like, has to be raising like a flag for GMs. Like, maybe we shouldn't break everything down and just get all the prospects because it might not work. It only works for some people.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's the move anymore. I think you have to kind of build gradually. You have to go through the draft. I mean, hey, We
Who won
talked
the
a
World
lot
Series
of
last
baseball
year?
last week with Donnie Marbich. Shout out to Donnie Marbich.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us last week. Donnie kind of explained, hey, you're one draft away.
Yeah.
And he may have a point. I do believe baseball, though, is kind of becoming this mixed bag where you need to bring in the correct veteran talent and young talent to work together in order to go towards common goal.
You start looking at teams that have won the last couple of years. You have the Rangers, who their two best players were bought, right, traded for. Couple young guys. Jonah Heim's working out. Like, all of those things are great. The Astros, 50-50 bought and brought up. Like those teams, you can keep going back. The Dodgers, if you want to count that World Series, they're completely bought. Like, Braves, pretty homegrown overall, but they had a lot of veterans and young guys. Like there's all the stories about the clubhouse being bad. Same thing you get in Toronto. You'll hear about that too. It's like, if you have a bunch of young guys and no one's leading the ship, you just got a bunch of really talented guys that have blinders on and they don't know what they're doing. And I just don't know if it works if you're not Theo Epstein, you know?
Yeah, if you look at the Phillies right now, I feel like they're a team that's geared up primarily to make a postseason run. I also feel like don't sleep on the Giants in the AL West. They're really a really solid ball team.
I know. Yeah.
D-backs seem like they're going to have a lull year. I've watched
a lot
one
of time
game
left.
live. I'll be at the White Sox D-back series this upcoming weekend, actually.
Nice.
And I'm not going to wear this hat. I won't allow myself to do it.
Yeah, you can't do that. If you start picking them over the White Sox, it's like, all right, let them at least like move before you do that.
Yeah, you got a point.
Yeah.
I do believe though that the Yankees probably have the best odds.
Yeah,
even
but you know
though
what's gonna happen.
Yeah, they're gonna shit the bed.
You go
Always
to the
happens.
you go to
All
the
right.
playoffs and the Twins and the Yankees battle, and you're like, who's gonna win? It's like, who knows? They both lose all the time. It doesn't make any sense. So
True. Even though I do believe the Royals and the Guardians are going to take the Central. But
yeah, the Royals,
looking out.
surprise team of the year. We took all
I'm
their
with
players,
you.
were worse, and now they're better. So who would have thought?
yeah, hey, shout out to Pedro Cafal. All right,
Yeah.
so Vladdy Jr. and Bo Bichette, where do they end up, Vince?
Oh man,
Or is it a done deal that they're getting moved?
I think one of them moves. I don't think both of them moves. If so, they're really blowing it up. I think they'll probably keep Vlad and get rid of Bo if I was a betting man. Bo's an interesting fit because you got to think like most competitive teams have shortstops if that's where you're going to play them.
No,
Phillies,
who doesn't?
Who's that?
Go ahead.
I don't know. I want to know.
Yankees. Anthony Volpe isn't the answer.
Yeah, but they like him. He's young.
Eh.
Also, I guess they played against Bo Bichette a lot. Like, do you think they like him if they've done that, or do you think they don't because
I think he'd
pitchers
fit in
know him.
well. He could hit 7. He'd
He's
fit
got
in
to
perfect
shave.
in that
He's got to
line.
shave though, dude.
Whatever, shave the beard, keep the flow.
Yeah, I mean he's a 293 hitter for a career 17.6 WAR. I mean he's fucking good. Like there's no doubt about that. Yeah, I mean I could see it. If you're gonna look at contending teams, that's the one you gotta kind of look for. I mean Volpe though, 276 at bats this year, hitting 275 with 6 homers. Like I don't know. It depends on what the price is because you'll probably have to swap Volpe for him plus some.
Yeah, it just depends on what your goals are.
And I think they really want to win because this whole Yankees can't compete in the playoffs anymore thing is going to start getting real.
And
annoying.
Juan Soto's going to have to get paid too. So
Yep. Very true. And he's still out right now, or did he come back yet?
I think he's still out. He's
Yeah.
still out as of right now. But I mean, hey, Aaron Judge is on pace to hit 1 million home runs.
Dude, yeah, I saw a stat today, and I don't know how accurate it is, so if I say it and it's incorrect, I'm sorry, and I apologize. But if he went for a full year on his pace of what he's done since the beginning of June, he would hit 93 home runs in a season. That's an ESPN stat. That's like a 7 things before you say it stat. So, but to put in perspective how hard he's hit the ball the last 2 weeks, he'd have 93 if he stayed this consistent for the year, which is pretty crazy.
It is crazy.
Not to
He could
forget that
he
he
could very
broke
well
a fake
break his own
record.
record.
Yeah, well, he broke a fake record last year. In what
Yeah,
other
true.
sport, Mike? In what other sport do you go, oh, it's like imagine if you're going for the point total and you're like, well, Wilt got 100 in the Western Conference, so this is the Eastern Conference point total. Like, that's stupid.
It's like, yeah, he also banged 1,500 women. Are you going to believe that? I mean,
Yeah, well, just you don't do that in any other sport. It's a Western Conference NHL record? No. Like, it's only baseball where it's like, it's the AL record. It's like, oh, so it's fourth? Like, what is the actual record? It's 74. Other than that, you can't do it. Yeah.
yeah, no, I agree. Well, I mean, hey, we could speculate all night long.
Yep.
I do believe that all three wind up going somewhere.
Yeah.
I hate to
It's
say
going to.
it. I think it's imminent.
48 days from now, we will see how it goes. But there's always one guy that gets moved early, so I'm interested to see who that is. Probably a pitcher.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah, you know what time it is. It's basketball. NBA Finals is here, Mike. And before we get to that, I think it's only right as a media conglomerate that we talk about the Los Angeles Lakers, who have nothing to do with this series. What do you say?
Yeah, we're here. Let's do it.
First things first, I don't know if you saw LeBron unfollowed Kendrick Perkins on Instagram. What are your thoughts?
Don't
Who
care.
fucking cares? I agree. Okay, so ESPN did that today. They're stupid. I don't get it, and I understand what they're going. They're going with people that follow the team and who's going to watch. It's stupid.
brother.
Talk about the finals.
You just see, like, Stephen A. Smith be like, the brother unfollowed him. Do you have any understanding as to what that means?
Well,
And it's like,
Kendrick
shut the fuck up.
Kendrick Perkins was like, everybody didn't follow Jesus. And it's like, and then Kevin Durant's like, I know I'm talking about it literally like they did, but Kevin Durant's just like, this guy thinks he's Jesus, SMH is what he said. And I was like, dude, KD as an online troll is like top tier comedy.
He
Top
really
tier.
is good. I give him credit.
Yeah.
I give
I
him
also
credit.
watched-
He practices his jumper in strip clubs. In fact.
I like that. Married to the game. Love wins again. I watched highlights of the prime finals, Oklahoma City Thunder with KD and Russ and Serge Ibaka and Steven Adams and Harden. Like, what a shame. That was such a team. That was such a team.
They really were pretty impressive.
And they didn't want to pay James Harden, and they could have. And that's revisionist history, but goddamn, they should have done it. But the reason we bring up the Lakers, Mike, is because of a man that coached in college this year by the name of Dan Hurley. Turns down $70 million to go to LA. What are your thoughts on this?
I thought I liked this guy, Dan Hurley,
Yeah.
head coach of the UConn basketball team.
Yeah.
And I like him even more.
Me too.
This is
It's
the
awesome.
the most dog fucking move
Boss.
I have ever seen. This guy is no bullshit, and I
Yeah.
appreciate him. And he could have taken the money and ran, but he didn't. He's all balls. And he knows a better offer will be ready when he's ready to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I'm gonna go chase another championship. And you know what? I'll put good money on it that he may just do it again.
Yeah, as far as good
He
juju
said he wants
is
to do
concerned,
3 in a row.
yeah. And hey, like, he shouldn't deprave himself of doing so regardless. Being the coach of LeBron James, and we've talked about this before, is a suicide mission.
Yeah.
It's what it is. You're going to get fired very quickly the minute that you do something. LeBron's like, no, I don't like this anymore. And instead he flirts with the offer. He said that he's going to go in the NBA plenty of times. He said this before. He's like, my dream is to coach in the NBA eventually. So a lot of people thought this was going to happen. And him coming back and saying, I'm not leaving, is amazing. You get Kentucky, that became available this year. Didn't go to Kentucky, stayed with UConn. Then you get the Lakers, and he also gets offered that and still stays with UConn, says, this is my spot. I love, Storer, Connecticut over Los Angeles, California. That is a commitment for the ages.
He's a Sally's guy. He doesn't
Yeah.
need the Cali weather or any of it. He's that guy.
Yeah, and I think this is, like, as far as good graces of his players, going back, and they're like, okay, like, I'm not transferring. I know this guy's fucking sticking with us. Like, that's huge. I might bet the house on UConn winning again this year. I might bet the house.
Even if you put it in now and like, let's just say, the Elite Eight comes around, they're still sticking around, and you still got some money
cash it
there, you
out.
cash it out, little prop swap action.
That actually might be the move. I might do that after we're done recording today. And I'll do it before the episode posts, since I know all of you are going to follow and try to fade me. So please go ahead. The two NBA scoopers, Mike? The two guys that get all the news? The Shams versus Woj.
And who's the other guy? Brian Windhorst?
No, Shams Charania. He works for the Athletic.
Yeah.
K Adams was spitting game to him, if you remember that. That was a big storyline for a while. And I was like, good for you, Shams. Little contentious right now in the Laker coach search between both of them.
Why is that?
So first, Shams, sorry if saying it wrong, reports that JJ Redick is essentially a shoo-in. He's the coach of the LA Lakers. That was a couple weeks ago. We talked about it. And then nothing came of it. And then Woj comes in and he's like, Dan Hurley is going to the Lakers. And then Woj reports Dan Hurley's not going to the Lakers. Do you think it's fair play to report something and then report something about something you were incorrect about? All he did was make news twice about the same thing, and neither of which were like completely true.
Yeah, I didn't believe it, to be honest. I just think it was like LeBron on a podcast saying it, like, yeah, no, this is my guy, and this is who it's going to be. I don't think it has a shot.
Well, no, it's like there was inside scoops to like the guys that get all the answer. That was the whole thing.
Leaked it. See, this is the problem with these guys. One guy takes a story and just runs with it. Yeah. Now he's backtracking, and they probably wanted nothing to do with JJ Redick. He doesn't have experience.
Well, he might be the coach now. Like, I feel like he might just get. I don't know. They like that shit over there, dude. It's the glitz and glam. It's the hot name on the streets. It's the guy that's calling the games. He does a podcast with LeBron. It's his guy. They're going to get along. Like, I could see it happening.
I don't think there's a chance it happens. I don't think LeBron goes back to LA.
It's definitely possible. Well, my thought, too, is, and I've heard this before, is LeBron doesn't go back to LA, but already gets JJ hired, so sets JJ up, and then isn't the reason that JJ gets fired. So maybe it's like he benefits everybody.
Catch 22.
I think that the NBA scoop game is stupid. I also think the NFL scoop game is stupid. Is that kind of a wild take or no?
I don't think it's all stupid. I feel like it depends on who's reporting it.
Well, it's like...
I feel like the NFL is far more credible, like guys like Adam Schefter.
And Woj and Shams get them. I'm more so like, the team's going to post about it in 12 minutes. Why do we need this 12 minutes earlier than they're just going to officially release
it? In the NFL, you don't see that. I mean, Schefter and then Rappaport really stay on top of this shit, and they rarely ever post anything or claim anything false.
I feel like half the time it's
NBA, it feels like it's sloppy, and it always has been.
Well, it's because it's always like, hey, can you do this for me? And even Schefter, like, he's getting fed information from agents to make guys look good. Like,
agents, GMs, coaches, you never know.
And you want to foster those relationships. He takes them. He moves them forward for them. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of over the scoop game. I used to be obsessed with it, and now I'm like, who cares? I'll figure it out in 12 minutes, We're not a live show.
That's the internet. That's the internet.
Yeah.
That's the internet today. But
I'm 29, dude. I'm an old man now.
I am not sold. Oh, shut up, Vince. Yeah, he turns 29. It's his birthday episode last week, and all of a sudden, he's gray ball Vince over here.
I walk in, I'm like, hey, I gotta talk to you about something. I'm a different man now.
Mike, I got a Dago D underneath my sweatshirt.
Yeah, I do, dude.
Oh.
If you guys want any reason to watch the YouTube channel, just check out my hairy chest all up in your business.
Vince is looking like a hunk of man this episode. That's all I got to say.
Doing?
Are you done? All right. So I don't like the NBA as a whole as far as the news cycle goes.
Yeah. Glitz and glam.
To your point, I do not believe LeBron James even plays for the Lakers next year. So I don't even think it's going to matter.
Very well could be true.
I think Bronny gets drafted by some bottom of the barrel franchise, and LeBron just goes there.
Detroit?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
That'd be funny. What a last stop for his career. Even LeBron can't save that team. But I don't know. We'll
I did
see.
read a good report today, though. They said the smartest thing, and now we're transitioning to KD, but the smartest thing KD could ever do for his career is pull a page out of the LeBron book, go back to OKC with that young team, win a championship,
Yeah.
and ride off into the sunset.
It feels
And we
as
discussed
though,
that weeks ago,
yeah,
but I digress.
it feels as though that may happen. But you never really know until like the tampering period's over. And that can't happen yet because you want to know why, Mike? You want to know why that can't happen yet? It's because the NBA Finals is on right now. That's why. And you can't do that during the NBA Finals because it's the most important thing in your sport, and we're worried about the Lakers, which is insane. And I think part of that has to do with the fact that Boston is destroying Dallas in what seems like every game. Game 2, specifically, Boston comes in and doesn't shoot well. You can make an argument, and I would like you to, if you don't agree with me, that Jason Tatum might be the 4th most important player on the Celtics the last 2 games. And I know they're going to double him, and I know they're going to go get him, and it leaves guys open, but like as far as defense and scoring, and this is more of an indictment, not an indictment on Tatum, but more of respect to the depth that they have as a team. But like Drew Holiday was the most important player of game 2, like undeniably so.
Jaylen Brown may be one of the best players in the NBA.
He's amazing. He's amazing. It just sucks he has to play second fiddle.
Well, he doesn't have to. I wouldn't say he plays second fiddle. Him and Tatum really complement each other well.
No, which I agree, and I'm more so saying, like, in the team, I think they've been through it enough where they get it, and they're like, this is how this shit's always going to go. But when you're looking for, like, who do you give credit for this? I feel like a lot of people go, well, Jason Tatum's their best player. Unless you're Jason Kidd trying to, like, you see that the other day, trying to be like, well, Brown's their best player, like, trying to fucking mess with their clubhouse or something like that, or their locker room, excuse me. But yeah, sorry, I just spoke in a complete circle there.
No, so Boston, they've been here before. They're very well coached.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but Jaylen Brown is like an absolute wizard. Like the man is one of the smartest humans on the planet.
Yes.
Like
his recollection's insane.
Well, not only that, but like he has like a honorary degree from like MIT and like does TED Talks there and shit, plays guitar.
His
studies
IQ
bioengineering
is crazy too.
Like the guy is
Genius.
insane. Had offers to go to like Duke in Kentucky, but decided to go to Berkeley because the academics were better. Like the guy is an absolute fucking fascinating human to do your research on.
Yeah.
You never have. Jason Tatum's just a St. Louis boy who really figured it out, and you got to give him credit. And I believe that they both complement each other well. Porzingis not being in on game 3 may hurt them.
Porzingis shooting 13 for 17 in game 1.
I told you, I
crazy.
said it was going to be a difference. And
yeah,
he's
you're
made
right.
a difference.
And I get it. I thought that would be true, but I didn't expect him to come in and shoot 70% and block 3 shots. Like, that's crazy.
And it shows you that the Mavs don't really have the size to compete with a guy that athletic in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Boston is a different. Sorry, go ahead.
No, like even though if you do look at the series prior, you had Cat and you had Gobert.
Right.
And
Yep.
I just feel like
That's
they
where I was
figured
going.
them out. I feel like they figured them out.
I think we talked about this before, but Rudy Gobert in the playoffs against a guard is a defensive liability. Kristaps Porzingis in the playoffs on Boston against a guard is a defensive upgrade because they have guys that are switching and properly defending. He's not sitting in the post the whole time like Rudy Gobert was, leaving wide open shots all over the court. It's clear that this team is better defensively and they play better as a team. So obviously this Gobert Defensive Player of the Year thing might be a sham. One thing I want to highlight is Kyrie Irving because he goes to Boston. We've talked about this before. It's been every single game since he saged the Boston Garden. He's lost. He comes up, draws a little bit with the crowd, but mostly sticking to himself. Scores 12 and then follows up with a 16er. The Mavericks aren't deep. The Mavericks are definitely not as deep as the Celtics. PJ Washington is probably their 3rd best player unless you're counting Lively. Kyrie Irving needs to score at least 20 to give them a chance. Like, Boston did not shoot well on Sunday at all, and they still end up beating them by 7. Like, And it really wasn't a close game all that much coming down to the wire. Like, it's not. They just seem outmatched. Granted, both were in TD Garden, and they moved to Dallas, I guess, yesterday. The game on Wednesday, again, we're not, like, it's tomorrow because we're recording on Tuesday, but it already happened. So, however it happened, take all this with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I think the Mavs go 2-1 right now.
Yeah, I think they win.
They're
this
going
game.
home. I think they win this game. Porzingis is out.
Likely,
I feel like,
right? Or is it confirmed yet?
Well, it's likely that he's not going to play this
Yeah.
game. When you're hearing this on Thursday night, you'll already know. But the boys give you their predictions prior.
Dislocation of the posterior tibialis tendon. I'm a doctor. You're welcome.
Vince, Dr. Vince, thank you so much for joining the podcast. So with Kyrie Irving saging, he gave himself the Maloik.
He staged
essentially.
himself. Yeah.
He staged himself. He gave himself the Maloik at TD Garden, at the Garden, as they could say. You could go there and have a wicked pisser if you're from Boston. Kyrie needs to arguably pull it off by himself because Luka, he doesn't look to be 100%.
Well,
and
did you
hasn't
see his
been-
injury list? He's got a shoulder, he's got a leg, he's got an arm, he's got a head. Like, everything's hurt right now.
Goes to show you if Luka was healthy, maybe it's a different story. But this
Luka's always like this, though. He's
I
always
wonder
got
why
a bunch
that
of
is.
injuries. And then he scores 60 and suddenly he's healthy again. And then if things aren't going his way, it's like, ow, ow, ow. It's the European basketball in a nutshell, dude. I love Luka Doncic, and he's an absolute monster, but there are pieces of me where it's like, if something's going wrong, he's injured, and there's an issue, and if something's going right, then he's the best player on earth. Like, that's kind of how it functions. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think the guy's very talented. I do believe, though, that they need to catch some lightning in a bottle for the rest of this series.
And that lightning
they're
is
going
Kyrie Irving. If he scores
needs to
30,
show
they
up.
win. But you want to know who's guarding him, Mike? Fucking Drew Holiday, like one of the best on-ball defenders in the entire NBA.
Can we talk
Because
about
the
how
Bucks-
underrated Drew Holiday is to this team?
The Bucks are so dumb, dude, to bring in Damian Lillard and not keep Drew Holiday, especially seeing what he's doing right now. Like, he's been the most underrated player in the NBA for like 12 years. It's
And
crazy.
he'll stay in Boston.
Has
they
to.
retain talent.
He's so good. He's like,
God,
he was such a game.
That trade they made to get rid of Marcus Smart and like really get that bench depth and genius.
Well, and also, yeah, and Boston loved Marcus Smart, but Marcus Smart made a lot of decisions, especially in that Golden State series when they were in the finals last time, where he's like, I got to put the team on my back. And it's like, that is not your job, Marcus Smart. Like, you are not the guy that should be doing this right now. So I think the way they kind of switched it around, got some money out, did not need to pay him that much when you can get a Porzingis in there and he makes a difference. It's like you see the team, and granted, they've only lost, 3 games this playoff so far? Like, I haven't seen them struggle once. So you have to have the Mavericks come up and just do something. And if they didn't win last night, then I think it's a sweep. But if they won last night, then this series is going 6. Like, this is the must win that they need.
Well, let's get into our predictions, Vince. So,
Yeah.
What's the series going? Is it going 5? Is it going 6? Is it going 4 and sweep out?
I need to figure. I don't know if I want to go with my brain or my heart. Okay.
Brain.
Knowing how these things go usually, especially in situations like this, it was a blowout game 1. It was closer game 2. You go back to Dallas. I think they win both games, and I think series is tied after these 2 games. And I think we come back next week and we have a game on recording on June 20th. I truly think it at least gets to 6 games. I think Boston still wins it because Boston has home court advantage at the end of the series. But if it goes 7, Boston isn't winning, so I'm going to take Boston in 6 because best player wins in a game 7 usually.
Hot take, Vince. I'm going to say the series goes 5.
Okay? So
And
Boston
they
wins
lose-
automatically.
Boston wins. There's no doubt about it. Just like how Florida's going to win.
Yeah.
In the hockey. And I think this is like one of the sleepiest final seasons I've seen in a long time.
When you get a mismatch like this, especially on both of them, and you're like, what am I cheering for? Like, inarguably, regardless of how it went, the excitement for the Timberwolves versus the Mavs was higher than the Mavericks Celtics.
Oh, yeah.
And that happens kind of a
agree.
lot where it's like you hear that a lot too with like Golden State. They talk about that a little bit. I mean, mostly Draymond, but the exciting parts of the playoffs, the hard parts of the playoffs were getting past the West. Once you played the East in the finals, it was like, all right, this is a cakewalk. But the hard part was beating the Rockets with James Harden and beating all those like souped up teams waiting to try to beat the shit out, like the Clippers, like Golden State. That's when it was hard. And I feel like the Celtics, like they haven't played shit this whole entire time, and now they're just steamrolling the West too. You're like, oh my God.
I had a thought process that they were just that good. And it seems to be that they're that good. I think they dropped one just due to Porzingis not being in the roster.
Yeah.
But either that or Tatum steps up. Jaylen Brown has another great game, and they're riding off in the sunset, and they clean it out in 4.
The beauty of it is if Dallas comes and wins 2 games, we're right back to square one.
I would
you
prefer that, to be honest.
Me too.
As a fan of the sport, I would prefer the game in the series go 6 or 7 as opposed to being a sweep, because what's the fun in that? Unless you're a White Sox fan, it's 2005 and your team sweeps the then Houston Astros.
If it's your team, you want to sweep every time. You don't want to lose a damn game.
Right.
Other than that, though, we're rooting for good basketball. That's what I'm looking for. And the only way that happens is if Kyrie gets his shit together. And I hope he does, because he's fun to watch in the playoffs.
Good basketball is better than not good basketball, Vince. And I think that's, if you listen to this podcast.
Very prophetic. Very prophetic.
If you listen to this podcast, you can take a couple things away. And that's one of them.
Yeah.
We prefer good basketball.
I agree.
Bad basketball, right? So with all that, we appreciate you joining our TED Talk. Your prediction, though, Vince? Celtics 6?
Celtics
5? All right. Give me the Celtics in 5.
Okay.
And we move out. So as always, people, we thank you so much for joining us. We would like to give one more shout out to our great friend of the podcast, Donnie Marbett. You are a legend, sir. Thank you so much for joining us last week. We also appreciate the connections that you've given us, and we look forward to having some of these beautiful souls on this podcast here shortly.
Look
so
out.
pay attention.
Be on the
There will
lookout.
be more guests coming to this lovely show. If you haven't already, please like it, share it, follow it, review it, give it a rating. Give it something, 5 stars for these guys, because we've been doing it now for almost 4 years, and I believe this is episode 156. So
Something
with
like
all
that.
of that, share it with your mother, share it with your brother, share it from your sister, share it with your sister from another mister, or your brother from another mother. And then, as always, we will see you next week. Peace.
Talking Tales with Mike and Vince. Oh, you know. Jazzy beats while we dispense. Yeah, you know.